Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to EGF Season 2. My name is Seb, and with me is Hunted, and we have some phenomenal games ahead of us. Currently, we have Butler University going up against Seton Hall University, two teams with phenomenal records in the league so far.
Yeah, always fun to watch these teams square off. It's definitely the top end of the league, right? When you get Butler and Seton Hall squaring away, and I'm trying to remember what the turnout was last time for this matchup last season, but it's escaping me right now. All I know is that it always seems to go more than 3 games, so expect this series to be 4 or 5 games a minimum, I think.
Yeah, we always appreciate a good long series and one where you get two top-tier teams really battle it out throughout that series. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one, considering the records on the line. Butler is the only one currently with a loss among the two teams. Seton Hall have a 4-0 record. So let's see if Butler can add a loss to Seton Hall's column.
Yeah, I think that they can do it. I mean, there's not too many undefeated teams left in the league. Marist, a school that we watched not too long ago, is one of them. But yeah, Seton Hall, one of the only ones, as you said, left. They're sitting at 4-0 right now. Butler at 3-1. So again, should be quite a good matchup. I believe the teams are in the server, so we'll get them to get things moving for game number 1. And I'm thinking of who I'm looking at these rosters, and honestly, they look a little different than last season to me. Really, both teams look like they have some change-ups in the lineup today.
Yeah, I can't exactly off the top of my head remember the rosters from last season, but we know that obviously on this Butler side, Seton has been the very much mastermind of that team for a while, so we'll see how much this project evolves as we get going into game 1 here with Butler University and Seton Hall.
And this is going to come down to some early aggression here. Game 1, of course, this being a best of 5, so time for these teams to eye each other up, but it will be Butler to connect on a nice midfield passing play there. Breezy probably going to want that touch back, gives it away to Astro. That's a 1-2 touch for the first of the game for Butler.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic infield pass from the Butler side, and really kind of got away from the Seton Hall defensive rotations. Definitely wasn't expecting an infield pass that accurate, as they might have another opportunity here. Seton is going to be able to put it in the top right corner, giving Butler U a quick 2-0 lead.
And again, I mean, it's just a win out of the corner. This time it's Astro actually winning the ball instead of being given it. And I mean, it's just a nice little pass off the 50 out of the corner. And Astro and Seton going to match up with one another twice to start the first game of the series.
It's very much interesting how Butler is able to assert so much dominance offensively, as they might have another opportunity here. Once again, yeah, showing so much dominance early on in this game.
Oh, no.
Oh, but that might slip through, as Breezy's going to be able to get a nice breezy double tap. Pardon the pun, excuse me. But Seton Hall going to be able to get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see from Kai. Big giveaway out in midfield. I like the idea of trying to control and possess the ball, but you got to be aware of where your teammates are, where the enemy team is pretty much at all times if you're going to try to play like that. And unfortunately, Breezy sitting out waiting for that play makes it a 2-1 game. And I like the early offense we've seen from Butler, but you can't rest on your laurels here, because Seton Hall, definitely a team that can strike quickly. You just saw it there. Great shot from Green.
It was a phenomenal shot in transition, being aware of where his teammates were for the infield pass. And already just over a minute in this game, we have an absolute banger of a game.
Yeah, 2-2. I mean, this is what we wanted to see, right? Both teams coming out looking good. I'd like to see their defense get cleaned up a little bit here, but the offense has been quite good so far.
Ooh. As Kyle will be able to get that rebound and convert. And already 5 goals on the board for both sides. And Butler University able to secure a lead once again. And we still have most of the game left to play.
I'm honestly surprised Vibes got as poor of a save as he did on that play. It looked like they had enough time to get up, make the touch, but just kind of misread it a little bit. There's a good pass off the post from Vibes on the shot. But yeah, Butler collects 3 in the first half of this game, and yeah, it's quickly turning into a shootout between these squads.
Yeah, that shot was definitely a heartbreaker where, unfortunately, the third Seton Hall player wasn't in position to convert off the missed shot. I'm sure they'll be kicking themselves for that one. But yeah, like you said, it's very much a shootout right now between these two teams. Both, sure, the defense isn't phenomenal right now, but they're both turning it on with the offense on both ends for both teams.
Oh, 250 left to go. We'll see if Butler can extend their 2-goal lead. Vibes looks for the touch out of the corner. Astro, solid challenge there. Good patience from Breezy, but Sir Aaron able to break it up. Kai's going to hustle forward. Ends up getting the pass there from Green. Vibes again has to try to deny. One of the big things that we're going to have to watch as this series between these teams develops certainly is how do they play this possession style, right? You don't want to see balls being cleared for no reason, no opportunities given away on the offense or the defensive side, as Vibes has to make a good save there. And we've already seen a couple of giveaways on either side when possession could have been the main focal point, and I think it should be, especially in this series.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see just people throwing the ball away and seeing what you can do on transition. Of course, that means you're getting comfortable on the defense, which isn't a good sign for the confidence. But honestly, it hasn't been the worst for Seton Hall currently, as they do have 2 goals on the board and have been able to capitalize on quick transitions. But Butler University have just been able to possess the ball a little bit more, be able to control it for better passes. Like this shot opportunity here, but Kai, unfortunately, not going to go for it. The Seton Hall have a breakaway to get a play going, but no, Butler will be able to put it away.
And Seton still looking for their looking for their equalizer here. Just a goal down now with 70 seconds left to go. Astro just trying to burn up some more of this clock if he can. Breezy looking for Green. Can't find the touch out of the corner. Vibes now. And Kai again. They'll reject the push. Back the other way. Here comes Butler looking for some insurance. Sir Aaron up for it. Down in front. Astro quick shot saved away. Green just gets a piece of it. And there's 45 seconds left to go. Seton still looking for the tie.
What was that? It was a near shot opportunity for the Butler side. But yes, as the clock starts to wind down, we haven't had a lot of goals come through in the latter half of this game. And currently it's working against the Seton Hall side, but that pass will go through, and Seton Hall, with just under 30 seconds left, is able to tie up this game.
Yeah, this is a nice little play. Baiting out that last defender. It was a 2-on-1. I wanted to see maybe an infield pass or at least a fake, something like that. But they end up drawing the defender, and all that's left is to win a 50 there. Fortunately, they didn't even need the 50 as the ball was able to bounce past that last Butler player. Now we're tied. Just 15 seconds left to go. Potentially overtime here. Green will keep it in, and maybe one more chance here for Seton.
I was so worried that Green was going to whiff that, and that was going to give a breakaway for the Butler U side, as this might go through as well.
Ooh, wow.
And that shot will go on target in the last 3 seconds. Butler U just barely able to steal this one.
And Green, a little bit of boost over ball, maybe not expecting that bounce to come out as hard as it did. But, I mean, not even close to being ready in net. Didn't turn for the challenge, and that's going to hurt. Butler just trying to close things out now. No time left. Green can't keep it up. And Butler University, they fend off a little bit of a scare, but they do end up taking game 1.
Either way, I think that was a really fun game to watch. You know, even though we do typically want to see some phenomenal defense on both sides, it is fun at times just to see both teams go back and forth and throw everything they can, just forget about defense a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, there were definitely some defensive miscues on either side that I'm sure both sides want to clean up. But missed opportunities as well. We saw a couple of posts from both teams. I think Seton had probably the most egregious one, if I remember right. Breezy just bangs it off the post, and if that goes in, it's potentially a 4-4 game. We've got overtime, but man, it's been a good game so far. Exactly what we thought, and I just wouldn't count Seton out, even though they lost game one. Might not have been in the most grand fashion. I certainly wouldn't count them out as we head into game two.
No, definitely not. And I think they showed that they are able to take the fight to Butler University, especially on the offensive side. I think the biggest thing is they need to not try and go so hard. We saw that with that last goal in game one, where Kai was just able to have a breakaway. He was just able to get through the defensive rotation with relative ease generally. And Seton Hall just didn't have an answer for it. So hopefully they'll be able to tighten that up a little bit, but that will go through. There's 10 seconds on the clock. And quickly, Butler take the lead.
Yeah, some panic. It's going to be an own goal. The save was there. It ends up bouncing off all three players as two Seton Hall defenders dive across the box. I believe it was Green who made the initial save, or perhaps Vibes, one of the two. But unfortunately, miscommunication, a bit of panic, and it's 1-0 for Butler. Vibes has to make another save. Aaron up for it, back down off the back wall, and Breezy's there for the block. Butler certainly had a majority of the offensive in the first half of the last game. They looked to pick up where they left off there, but Kai just not going to be able to keep possession of that ball. Though Breezy doesn't quite get the clear. 4:15 left to go. Still 1-0 for Butler. Maybe another chance here. It's just over Sir Aaron.
It always makes me very scared as that shot will go through. Butler up 2-0 once again. Wow, Butler really putting on this offense quite early once again.
And this is just a shot from the top of the box that catches Seton Hall off guard. Not quite sure why the defenders seem to be out of position at times for some of these shots, but again, I think that's one that you can save. Astro did get quite a bit of power on it, but it's certainly not an unsavable shot. Would like to see them again kind of clean things up on the defensive side, because Butler's kind of been gifted 2 early goals here in this game, and you can't be giving them away if you want to keep it close.
Yeah, as currently Seton Hall able to mount some offense here. Very much like you said, one thing that kind of confused me a little bit is that pass will go straight to Breezy, and Breezy's going to get a lovely, lovely redirect to, once again, very much like in game one, Butler U goes up 2-0, and Seton Hall quickly comes back with a goal of their own.
Yeah, and that's just a nice little pass right down to Breezy, able to slot it in far post. And, you saw the double commit from Butler. Seton Hall, no problems in punishing that. You need to keep that going to try to equalize this game. It's obviously going to be a series of give and takes, right? No team can play perfectly, as that nearly gave Green a chance there, but you got to take advantage of the mistakes when they do happen. So far, Butler's been just a bit better, but Seton Hall still fighting back.
And I tend to worry quite a bit on the Seton Hall defense, because it seems like the communication isn't great, as that nearly sneaks its way through, but Breezy is able to get the save. But unfortunately, they're not able to clear it out. And Seton Hall, whenever they're on the defensive end, it always just makes me feel scared, because I don't know if they're going to go for double commits, if they're going to be low on boost and try and just go for dribbles downfield, which isn't the smartest thing to do. But either way, it tends to work for them, as they currently do have possession, and Seton Hall trying to stay alive against this Butler offense, as that might nearly sneak through, but unfortunately no one is able to get the rebound, and a missed opportunity for the Butler side, continuously pounding shots back and forth as we reach the halfway point in this game, and Seton Hall just barely staying alive.
Yeah, and they're starting to panic a little bit here on the defensive side. I think Green finally has some boost, gets the ball back to the midfield. That's what they needed to do, but it's not over yet. You've got to make sure that you're able to turn this into some offense, or at the very least, give yourself some breathing room. It does look like they'll be able to do that. But Butler's been quite good on breaking up that defensive rotation from Seton Hall, and still they need a goal to try to equalize, as Sir Aaron wants to add some insurance.
Kai going to perfectly set up his teammate, but unfortunately will be a little bit too slow. It seems like Butler doing... Oh, wow. Just as I say that, Seton Hall able to tie up this game off of the transition. Phenomenal stuff. And unfortunately, Butler not getting the best touch gives a perfect opportunity to Green to convert and tie up the game.
It just follows that play through. Smart play from Green. And Butler going to concede late. I mean, again, very similar to game one. Will we have overtime this time? I think it's in the cards. But, you know, really it's going to come down to who makes that first mistake and which team is able to capitalize on it.
I still am kind of surprised that despite the offensive pressure that Butler is able to put on, Seton Hall is still able to survive with this mangled kind of defense that just seems so scattered that they're able to go toe-to-toe with this Butler squad.
Well, I mean, again, it's opportunities arising from either side, and just like we haven't seen a ton of offense from Seton Hall. We've definitely seen more out of Butler, but they've been given chances on plays that Butler's probably going to want back. Giveaways at the midfield line, double commits, things like that, and they've scored them. That's the biggest part. That's one of the big things you need to do in Rocket League. Is Astro does the exact same thing here. Kai creates a play, the defenders get bunched up, there's even a bump there, and Astro's able to convert that into a hat trick now. And that's, I mean, it's perfect example of what you have to do to win these games.
Yeah, knowing that if you can't get through the defense, throw in some bumps, try and disrupt the rhythm of the Seton Hall defense, which is what Serrarian exactly does. He gives Butler U a goal, which might, with 30 seconds left, be the dagger for this game. "30 seconds left. Seton Hall have quite a task to achieve, but that might go through as Vibes cross pitch is able to put this one in the net, and that might be the goal that forces a second overtime.
This is an interesting little play from Breezy as well. Has time and space, opts to lob it up for the potential transitional play, and they catch Butler a little bit too slow to get back to the defensive side. Saren was there, just didn't quite jump in time. Makes it 3-3.
That might sneak through as the defensive rotation off that double commit in the midfield might hurt, but Vibes is able to put it away with the last few seconds in this game. Can he get something going here? There is still a second left, but I feel like this will touch the ground, and we will be going into our second overtime of the series.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to this one. Butler still out in that 1-0 game lead. Seton Hall doing what they can to try to tie things up. Overtime game 2. As Green's just going to try to keep this one in. Astro, and we've seen this a little bit already. Butler trying to catch the Seton Hall players a little bit too far forward. They nearly scored with 10 or so seconds left in that regulation time on a play similar to that. So let's watch, see if they continue to try to catch them a bit too far upfield.
And I really hope that Seton Hall do learn from game 1, because it was pushing a little too far forward, been a little bit out of position that did loosen that first overtime. So hopefully they'll be able to take that in mind as Butler continuously mounting this pressure on the offensive side, and Green just going to have to put it away. Serrarian going to give it perfectly to Vibes, who's going to send it past to Breezy. This might go through, but Astro is going to read it perfectly, intercept it. And double commit from the midfield will give Seton Hall another opportunity here, as Green is going to go all the way down, going to put it in the corner. Vibes sending it to the blue side, and currently neck and neck in the midfield. You can see, though, the Breezy going for a bump as well, though. You have minute 25 in the overtime clock, and neither team having a strong opportunity so far for a goal.
No, it's certainly been a defensive overtime thus far, but not really surprised in given how the last game ended, although Green might find some space. Kai is there, but yeah, not surprised to see these teams buttoning down the hatches a little bit, especially Seton Hall not wanting to go down 2.
Once again. Oh, that will sneak through as Breezy is able to just duck under these defenders and give Seton Hall a win in overtime. Very much the opposite of game one, where there was off of Butler. Butler used strong transition game, able to net themselves the game one win, but Seton Hall able to come back with a mirror of the scoreline of game one and secure game two to continue this series.
Yeah, Sir Aaron's gonna be kicking himself after that play. Had the opportunity to make the save and just misread it off the back wall. And unfortunately, that hat-trick performance from Astro just not going to be enough here for Butler in game two. They're going to have to try again in game three. But again, we kind of saw a shift, especially in that overtime period, to Seton Hall possessing the ball, maintaining the pace that they wanted to play at. And I'd like to see Butler kind of try to shift it back. They were playing a little bit of a faster game through the first half of both games 1 and 2. They kind of go away from that as the game gets longer and the score gets closer. I want to see them come out quickly, winning those challenges at the midfield line. And I think that they're going to put Seton Hall back on the back foot if they can do that.
For sure. And I do want to point out that I believe the Butler University side had 19 shots on net. We're able to net 3 of those compared to the relatively lower amount of the Seton Hall side. So it just shows that whatever opportunities that Seton Hall do have, they're able to make it work and convert much more quickly and with more efficiency than the Butler U side. So good things going forward for the Seton Hall side for the rest of the series generally. As a pass to Breezy, that shot will try and lob over Astro, giving Vibes a perfect opportunity, but nothing will come through.
Well, here we go. We'll see if Butler can develop this offense a little bit more. But Seton Hall definitely seemed to be playing with a little bit more confidence, and for good reason after taking that last game. I'm definitely interested to see how the midfield battle shakes out in the early parts of this game. That's a big double commit. Could be super dangerous if Vibes could get it down. Breezy's still looking for it. But again, it's Kai just going to clear it off the line. Keeps it a 0-0 game.
Yeah, and Seton Hall trying to get a little stylish there. I was so hoping the Vibes was going to get that redirect in. That would have been a highlight reel play for sure. But unfortunately not, as an opportunity is missed from the Seton Hall side. And something that I think we're getting a lot of this game. We're getting a lot of decent goals coming through for both teams, frankly. And honestly, this has been a very strong series so far from both teams. Both teams have been able to net themselves some nice goals, have close score lines, very tight situations, and I'm very much enjoying it.
Yeah, it certainly has been a good series. We expected it to be a close one when we started. Again, Seton Hall trying to hang on to that 4-0 start to their season, want to stay undefeated if they can. But Butler, certainly other ideas. Nice play from Green, just a bit high, hits the crossbar. Kai will see it clear. And now let's see if Butler can get some offense rolling here. Astro, the giveaway to Breezy.
And you can see that Seton Hall, they're starting to get way more creative with their offense right now. They're trying to make any touch work, trying to go for some redirects, trying to go for just the smallest touches that can make their offense work. And it's so fun to watch because you get to see some insane shots go through, despite the fact that Seton Hall hasn't hit too many of them. It's still just nice to see these teams go for it. As you approach the halfway point of this game so far, Seton Hall has been pretty solidified on the offense right now. Butler not having the best of chances. Seton Hall doing a good job at trying to establish some dominance in the midfield, but also just honestly tightening up their defensive rotations a little bit and being able to just punt it back as soon as Butler have an opportunity. There's 2 minutes left. That might be an opportunity for Green, but nothing will come of it as Kai once again gets possession, and Serraran going to boom that downfield. Is anyone going to be there for the rebound? Yes, Astro, but not going to be put on target. Butler once again continues to struggle.
And just some interesting decisions being made really on both sides on defense right now. They haven't been punished quite yet, although Breezy's going to miss that ball. Ends up getting the bump on Kai, which will give Vibes a bit of space with 1:30 left to go. But Yeah, some giveaways, some interesting decisions, certainly with some of these touches. And it's kind of the opposite of what we saw in game one. Teams were scoring those goals when given to them, but now it's just been a couple of misses, a couple of close plays, and I think Butler's kind of been on the losing side of that. They've had some really great chances. They just haven't been able to put them in the back of the goal.
Yeah, very much an opposite of game 1 and 2, both high-scoring games, and this one is very much the opposite, where nothing is going through. But despite that, I think we're seeing both teams tighten up defensively, and unfortunately making a bit more mistakes in the offensive end, not able to convert too much on their opportunities. But Butler U having another opportunity here, unfortunately not going to be able to get that block as it goes back into their end, and we approach the 30-second mark, not 30-minute mark. And with the last 30 seconds, we are still 0-all. Neither opportunity or neither team having a strong opportunity to convert. As Green will pop it up high, Breezy's going to look for it, but he's not going to be able to put it on target. And as the clock winds down, we might be seeing a third overtime in this series. As a near shot opportunity comes through, and Vibe's going to have to put it away, but no, Kai is going to take advantage of that mistake. And Butler University might have just locked up this game.
And this time it's the keep in there in the corner that causes some chaos on the Seton Hall side. I mean, I like the idea, but he just couldn't get up to it. Good vibes. And now, if this one touches the pitch, Breezy tries to keep it moving. Green will get there as well. But this should touch the dirt, and it will. Butler, again, going to walk away with this one. Very, very close. As we may need to get a server change. So we might have a bit of a delay here between games 3 and 4. But every game being a one-goal game, certainly not a surprise, but it is Butler who take this one. And again, I think Seton Hall had a majority of the chances. You look at the shot totals, 5-3. So really, the opportunities were few and far between, but Seton Hall just unable to crack the code this time around.
Yeah, and once again, it is Kai that put himself in the perfect position to steal away a game, very much like in game 1 where he was able to get that last second goal. Kai was able to just capitalize off of Seton Hall's defensive mistake once again and be able to steal away a game for Butler University. So Butler just somehow able to find opportunities and be able to convert on any mistake that Seton Hall make. And Seton Hall, despite having the majority of the shots this time around, just weren't able to crack that Butler defense.
Nope, absolutely. And would like to see, again, I think one of the things that we talk about a lot, especially around matches like these, is that typically the team who plays a little bit faster is going to get more opportunities. They're going to generate more mistakes. They're going to generate more chances in front. And I don't think Seton has really played up to the quickness of Butler outside of a couple of few moments. Overtime game 2 comes to mind. I would love to see them pick up the pace a little bit more. I know that we want to see more possession, but both teams seem to be content playing this long ball, clear type of style. And if you get into that, then it's always going to come down to which team is the fastest to the ball, controls their touches better. And I think Seton's got what it takes to do that. They just need to come out a little bit faster here in game 4.
And I definitely agree. And I also feel like Seton Hall are once again just being punished continuously. There are so many times where Butler just were able to penetrate that defensive rotation, and Seton Hall were maybe jumping the gun a little bit offensively, despite the fact that, you know, at times they were trying to kind of go for some fancier stuff and try and, you know, play 2-man up to see if they can get something sneaky in, but they almost bit the bullet a bunch of times with defensive rotation mistakes. And even then, just goaltending mistakes kind of fell through for the Seton Hall side, which gave Butler University the lead. And I'm hoping that Seton Hall will just be able to especially in last game, it felt like we had an adjustment where they were trying to play more long ball because they recognized, okay, a lot of the goals that we're getting scored on currently is just from us playing way too aggressive on the offensive side. So maybe if we kind of play a little bit back and then just focus on our transition game, we'll be able to net some more goals. Clearly, that didn't work out for them as the offensive pressure eventually fell apart and Butler was just able to take advantage of that. But I kind of want to say that we can just blow that third game off because it very much was a mistake from the Seton Hall side. But I think it'll all come down to this game 4. If Seton Hall are going to be able to continue with the adjustments they're making in their gameplay, but also if they're actually able to crack this Butler defense.
Well, it looks like the players are ready to go here as we are going to get game number 4 underway. We apologize for the delay again, server issues and such, but things seem to be settling down now. So an important game here for Seton Hall. They find themselves down 2-1 after dropping game 3. And Butler wanting to end this one in 4 if possible. And kind of going the way that that I thought earlier on today. Figured we'd see at least 4 games out of these squads. And I would certainly not be surprised if a 5th one is in the cards. Seton Hall definitely a team that can amp up the pace a little bit here when they need to, and I'd love to see them do it as the first 30 seconds have gone by. No score. Breezy will cut that one off midfield.
Yeah, very much like you said. It seems like they're trying to pick up the pace and react as that shot will go through. Vibes going to get that touch off the backboard as it just leisurely bounces into the net. And very much it seems like Seton Hall is trying to pick up the pace a little bit, go for these quicker infield passes that Butler U just can't seem to handle.
And there's one thing that I want these players on both sides, when you go back and rewatch these VODs, and hopefully they do that, I want them to go back and just like on that play in specific, Astro makes a touch at the midfield line that ends up bouncing into a Seton Hall player. That really doesn't need to be made. You don't have to touch the ball right there to try to turn it around. You can be patient with it. You can kind of caress it, if you will, back into your own corner and turn it around there, or get some help from a teammate out of the corner, something like that. And unfortunately for Astro, it's those tiny giveaways that you might not really notice until you go back and watch, but they turn into goals. That's exactly how they scored, was off of that little giveaway in midfield, and we've seen that quite a lot, really, from either side. And if you can just eliminate those out of your gameplay, it becomes so much easier to transition out of the zone, as Astro will score this one and Butler tie things up.
So I didn't think that this was going to go through because Astro didn't have the boost or the momentum to really make this work, but it was Sererin who I believe bumped Astro into the ball, which essentially propelled it into the net. So I guess that is the epitome of team play, if you will, for a shot opportunity, as Butler are able to tie up this game.
And I love to see a competitive game 4 here. Certainly, Seton Hall again trying to tie things up. 3 minutes left to go. Kai will keep it in at the midfield line. Green wants to turn it around, and this next goal going to be pretty important. Certainly could very well decide the series, depending on who scores this one. It's been close games, of course, all the way around. But we've seen kind of a trend in the way of defense as we continue through the series. So this goal got to be a big one.
Yeah, it's I guess nice to see, especially because the first 2 games were just slobber knockers, if you will, on the offense. And as the series has progressed, the defense has tightened up, as that's a pass that will sneak through. What a phenomenal pass infield from the Seton Hall side, which will net them a goal straight to Vibes. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, good catch of the Butler defense as well. Everybody kind of in that quarter quadrant on the right side of the field, I guess their left side on defense. And the pass, I mean, it's just a good carry across the way. Vibes was ready for it, and you sneak it in far side. It's a nice play.
Once again, the creativity from the Seton Hall side coming through with their offenses just seems like stuff that they're very much used to in terms of a playbook. But Breezy able to send it down the midfield, having another opportunity, but Kai will try and challenge as we are in the second half of this game, and Seton Hall have a 1-goal lead as Vibes is able to get that touch off the back wall, essentially giving himself a pass, and Seton Hall starting to run away with this game here.
Yeah, Sir Aaron can't keep control of it in the corner. It just bounces a bit too hard all the way around, and Vibes, great job of picking that ball up, sticking with it, and able to put the hat trick on the board. And you're right, it does look like Seton Hall starting to certainly move away with this game, but there's still plenty of time to find 2 more here for Butler.
Oh, absolutely. Still plenty of time to work with, but I do want to give a shout out to Vibes, who has very much come out for this game to play, as he has 3 goals on the board with 4 shots, and has been the spearhead of the Seton Hall offense, if you will. But Butler having an opportunity here, but Green is going to bump him out of the way. Kai going to be able to maybe find something. Doesn't get that second touch, though, as we approach the last minute of this game, and Butler have a very high mountain to climb to try and find their way back. But it is possible. We've seen it previously. But Seton Hall is just looking very strong right now.
Well, they need to defend for this next 50 seconds, and we will see a Game 5, which would certainly be an exciting one between these 2 teams. Again, it's been a trend in the defensive direction as we've played through this series. I don't know if Game 5 will quite be that way, but right now Seton Hall's defense has certainly improved.
Yeah, the way that they're able to control the midfield and just make every touch count has been phenomenal. Butler just not having any opportunity, mainly because Seton Hall is able to stop it before it even starts. Essentially, you need good midfield control before you can actually get anything going. But Vibes, he's in an awkward spot here as that will slip through. Kai, once again, able to convert on these mistakes as he's going to net himself a goal and give Butler a chance with 15 seconds left.
That's a nice little angle, and it did look like Vibes maybe a bit too overconfident in this game right here, not playing on the goal line, playing a little bit forward, expecting some kind of clear from a teammate. So now 5 seconds left, still an opportunity to demo on the green. Can they turn this into something? Would be nice to see. Breezy, they'll send it down. Astro has to keep it up, won't be able to do so, and we've got a Game 5.
And I was continuously getting scared for the Seton Hall side because as the last minute kind of grew, they were whiffing more and more in the midfield and giving Butler a lot more opportunities than they probably should have. And honestly, if Astro was able to get a pass off in that last opportunity there before he got demoed, unfortunately he did whiff, that could have netted itself a 3rd goal for the Butler side. I'm not going to try and predict and see if it was going to or not, but it was an opportunity that they probably shouldn't have gotten. But yeah, we're going to a Game 5, and this is so exciting considering the level of these teams. I'm very excited.
And again, Seton Hall, Butler, top of the leaderboards right now. One of them, of course, trying to maintain that 4-0 start. And I mean, it's been the game we expected it to be, as that's off the crossbar. Breezy won't be able to turn it around, though. Sir Aaron had to be careful there. Kai will help clean that one up. But we stay 0-0, 4:45 left.
And Seton Hall going to have to be careful of the transition there, especially with how much they put into it. Butler now continuously having more opportunities. Kai not able to get enough power on that shot for the double tap, but this might, but no. Green is able to put it away and give Seton Hall some breathing room off of the Butler offense, but they might have another opportunity here. A shot will just be a bit short as Vibes not able to get that second touch, as that was very much boom downfield. I just realized how far that went. A minute into this game right now, and we're very much just pounding it back and forth. But Butler showing they want to play with this offensive pressure, very much reverse of what happened last game.
Well, again, it reminds of game number 1. Butler was very quick to pounce on the offensive side. They got some early goals. Haven't quite had the same luck here, but that's most likely due to the fact that we're in Game 5. Both teams are going to ramp up on defense a little bit. as demos from Vibes
What
are
is
coming out.
Vibes just putting in so many demos just to disrupt this Butler defense and not really even caring where the rest of his team is. He's just being an absolute menace on the back line of the Butler side as Kai is going to be able to get a shot off. Is that going to sneak through? Yes, it will. Off of the crossbar, and Butler is able to get a lead.
And here's the danger of focusing on those demos. Unfortunately, it can leave you out of position to try to play offense at times, or at least transition back into the defensive side. Vibes really a non-factor in that play. Everybody able to push up from Butler after the respawns. And, I like the idea of physicality. Certainly want to see that more from Seton Hall here as we progress in this game. But you got to be smart about it and can't pull yourself out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much a give and take thing. If you're going to be going for a lot of those demos, you are removing yourself from a position that your team could be using. And currently, Seton Hall struggling a little bit as Butler very much in game 1 and 2. They're just continuing with this offensive pressure that they were known for in the first 2 games, and Seton Hall not looking as aggressive as we saw, or at least Butler is able to just control the midfield enough so they can't have an opportunity to get that aggressive. And if they will, they're going to bite the bullet for it.
Well, halftime comes and goes. It's Butler University up by 1. Vibes with the deflection. Mastro is there on the block. And now Seton Hall, similar position. Certainly one that they know quite well, but that'll be over the head of Green. And Butler score a bit of a cheeky one here. 2:14 left to go, and they're up by 2.
Yeah, Green just not having the best position to get that save, and unfortunately his teammate was a little too far back in the back post to get it. Sararin is able to just get a nice lob over the defenders, and Butler is able to secure a 2-0 lead. Not something that we haven't seen before, and Seton Hall have shown that they can come back from it. So we're in a 3-on-2 situation here. Green is finally able to make its way back. But 2 minutes left, and Seton Hall honestly haven't had that many offensive opportunities to showcase.
They've got 4 shots. They're out shooting Butler by 1, but that doesn't really mean too much in a game like this one, as this could be dangerous as well. Kai really looked to end the series right there. Good save by Vibes. But yeah, Seton Hall got to find some offense now. They're down 2 with only 90 seconds left. They have to find a little bit of space, though. Kai again can't finish the game, just wide on the shot.
And very much this series right now, any goal from the Butler side might just finish the game. As Green, he's going to try and get the save, and he will. Putting it off the backboard as we have a 2v2 situation here. Not going to be able to sneak that one through, as once again, Butler is just able to control their side of the pitch and be able to stop any offensive opportunity from coming through. As the last minute of Game 5 comes through, and currently this has been all Butler University.
Well, still 45 seconds left. Breezy and Vibes, both are going to whiff on that ball. That was a good chance there for their first of the game, but now back the other way. Astro, although Breezy will pick that one up. Can't beat Sir Aaron in 30 seconds left. Time is going to continue to tick by. It's not in the favor of Seton Hall right now. They've got to score 1 with at least some time remaining to keep their hopes alive. But with challenges like that from Sir Aaron, it looks like this one's a bit out of reach.
Yeah, this is the last few seconds tick down, and it was a very good series. And Seton Hall fought hard. Both teams fought hard, but the better team won at the end of the day, as Butler University will walk away with this full best of 5. Despite a phenomenal series, Butler U takes it.
And that will be the first loss on the season for Seton Hall. They'll move to 4-1. Butler as well, moving to 4-1. So another great matchup for both of these teams. I figured it would take 5 games, and it most certainly did. But again, I still think Butler played the better series as a whole. But you certainly have to give it up to Seton in capitalizing on opportunities they were given. They just couldn't quite get it done there in Game 5.
Yeah, I think the adjustments that they made specifically for game 2 and game 4 were phenomenal. They were just able to adjust to try and mitigate any defensive rotation mistakes that they were making and try and, tighten up what they could, play a bit more passive and just go for the long ball if they need to. And it clearly worked out for them. Obviously in game 2, both teams were kind of blowing each other out. Same with game 1. But Seton Hall did make adjustments. They shown that they were adaptable. Unfortunately, in the last game, a lot of challenges didn't go their way. Butler was doing a phenomenal job of controlling the midfield and just preventing any opportunities from the Seton Hall side. And Seton Hall just had no kind of ground to stand on at that point. They were continuing with those defensive mistakes, and Butler was just time after time capitalizing on them and converting on them to net some shots. So Butler played phenomenal. They were able to make adjustments against Seton Hall, and shout outs to them. They were able to continue with their record. I believe it's now 4-1, if I recall, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Certainly. And no, you're absolutely right. I definitely think this series was a good one from both teams and should walk away with your head held high if you're either side. But we do need to take a short break. We've got more Rocket League here on the other side of that, so make sure you stick around. We'll be back in just a minute.